I'm Gary Franchi, Chief White House Correspondent for the Next News Network, and I'm presenting never-before-seen footage from my colleague Michael B. Alfaro's first peace mission to Cambodia. In this exclusive interview, he sits down with Cambodia's Deputy Prime Minister. Now, this was recorded during Mike's initial trip, but the context makes it even more urgent today, because just this morning, despite agreeing to a ceasefire, Thai soldiers assaulted Cambodian civilians at the border. These acts of aggression prove that the warnings from Cambodia's leadership, which you'll hear in this interview, were not just history lessons. They were a foreshadowing of exactly what has now happened. Watch.
Hi, everyone. Michael Alfaro reporting here in Phnom Penh with the Deputy Prime Minister. Deputy Prime Minister, thank you for having me. It's a great honor.
Thank you very much, Michael, for coming to Cambodia. I appreciate you being here with us this morning.
Akon, that's
how you speak Khmer. Good.
Very little. So I want to get into the history of Cambodia because I think the American people need to understand, especially now, why is Cambodia resilient with passion, with love? This culture is so rich and so beautiful. So I want to ask about 1970. There was a change of government. What happened in 1970?
On March 18, 1970, there was a coup d'etat against then Prince Norodom Sihanouk, the head of state of Cambodia. So that started the change of event in Cambodia that led to the Khmer Rouge taking over Cambodia in 1975. So from 1970 to 1975, we were under Lon Nol regime. Then the Khmer Rouge came to power in 1975 for 3 years, 8 months, 20 days. They managed to kill 2 to 3 million Cambodian. Wow. They start Cambodia, bring Cambodia back to year zero. That is genocidal regime of Pol Pot. So Cambodia suffers so much in that period. There's no country on earth, Michael, that suffer like Cambodia. But through the liberation of Cambodia in 1979, we managed to rebuild our country from zero, from nothing, until what you see today. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank the international community, to thank the American government for supporting the peace accord in Paris Peace Accord, that led to the on-track operation in Cambodia, and they organized the election in 1993. So since 1993, we managed to rebuild our country. However, I want to state it clearly that although the United Nations organized the election in 1993, the Khmer Rouge did not lay down their arms until 1998, when our former Prime Minister Hun Sen introduced the win-win strategy to allow them to lay down their arm and integrate to the government of Cambodia. So that for the first time in over 500 years, that Cambodia finally have peace, total peace in the country, with one government, one king, one constitution. So since then, we managed to build our economy. Our GDP grew at an average of 7% per annum for 20 years, until obviously into COVID in 1921. So our economy dropped, but now we are moving up again in terms of our economic development. But this recent conflict between Cambodia and Thailand also affect our economy. Cambodia does not want war. Cambodia needs peace. Peace is a prerequisite for the social economic development of our country. Cambodian people are peace-loving people. You can see in our face, you can see our culture. You can just look at the classical dance of Cambodia. You can see the graciousness of our people. Very soft-hearted, put it this way. Very resilient. Another way is very resilient, come from nothing in 1979 to be where we are today. So that is very important for our people. Again, peace is important for us.
Yes.
We do not want war.
I want to ask you a personal question, if I can. Can you share us a childhood experience surviving a genocide, surviving death, surviving the greatest hardship that human man can do to one another? And how does that impact your role today as a deputy prime minister, that experience?
Well, I experienced 3 years of war from 1970 to 1973. I was lucky enough to be able to leave the country in 1973 to the US to pursue my education.
At Harvard?
At Harvard, at American University. I did my advancement program at Wharton.
Like President Trump?
Like President Trump.
Ah, I see where you're going.
I have 3 daughters, and they all graduated from University of Pennsylvania.
Like President Trump's, some President Trump's children.
Right.
I see where the
my youngest daughter graduated from Wharton.
Wonderful.
I also served on the board of Wharton for 20 years. I served as chairman for Wharton Executive Board for Asia for 3 years.
Wow, that's remarkable, and I can see. But let's talk about the now. President Trump is in a trade war, right? And he wants to demand accountability, fair trade. He doesn't like transshipping when things are said they're made in, let's say Cambodia, but you have bad actors that could say it's made in, Cambodia when in fact it's made in China. And we've seen Cambodia take progress and taking action and accountability with that. Now you're leading the trade agreement. How is that working out?
Well, we had 2 rounds of negotiation with USTR, and we will go back to finalize that agreement. But as you know, President Trump announced the reciprocal rate for Cambodia at 19%. So we started on April 2nd with 49, then dropped to 36, then dropped to 19. So we appreciate very much the decision of President Trump to grant us the 19% reciprocal rate. And we agreed to zero out all the tariffs line for the U.S. imports into Cambodia.
Wow.
We hope, Michael, to carve out certain sector in Cambodia. For example, the garment, the textile, the footwear, travel goods that employ close to 1 million workers, most of them women, and each one of them support 4 to 5 members of their family. So we hope to be able to discuss further with the U.S. to get a lower rate for the sectors that's important for Cambodia.
But empowering these women, it gives them the opportunity to earn an honest living.
That's correct.
And also saves women from the hardships of not just poverty, but even other bad alternatives like trafficking. It just saves, this turns the page and brings pride back into the Cambodian people.
Absolutely, Michael, you're absolutely correct. We need to give them a job. They earn their living honestly, and they produce good to export to the U.S. with good quality and reasonable price for the American consumer to enjoy. And let us do the hard work here in Cambodia to support, to provide good quality products to the U.S. at a reasonable price. So we hope to be able to discuss further with USTR to carve out some of the sector that we need to protect, to maintain or create more jobs for women in Cambodia in particular.
It's so important, and it's important to President Trump that we're having good, fair, and reciprocal trade, and just to redraw the maps. And I tell a lot of friends in the Asian American community, in the Khmer community, the Cambodian community, America, that a trade war with President Trump is an opportunity for Cambodia, because not all the jobs from China is going to come back to the United States. They got to go somewhere else. And those jobs are going to find their way in Cambodia, and it's going to continue to advance more skillful training, more skillful technology, and you're going to see greater development come to this region. And so I tell my friends in the United States, and even if I may, in Cambodia, be patient. Don't always jump and get afraid of the fake news. Obviously, you've been experiencing a lot of fake news recently with the invasion from Thailand. Let's call it out. Thailand invaded Cambodia. Thailand killed innocent people for Cambodia. And now you're not just fighting a threat from Cambodia on a physical front, but you're also find yourself fighting a media war too, because it's difficult for Cambodia to get the truth and their side of what exactly happened. So explain to me the recent, or share with me, please, what happened on this border dispute.
Well, when you go to see the border, you probably can discuss more with the people there. Cambodia is not the aggressor. We only defend our country. We defend our sovereignty. So that's what we are doing. Cambodia want to be good friends with everyone, in particular with our neighboring countries. So it's not in our interest to war with any country. Like I mentioned to you, peace is important for economic development of our country. So we continue to demand the peaceful resolution of the conflict between Cambodia and Thailand. And I'd like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation and gratitude to President Trump for his decisive intervention that led to the ceasefire between Cambodia and Thailand. And with that, our Prime Minister officially nominated President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. He deserved it. He done so much in 6 months in his office, his second term, administration, Trump 2.0. In 6 months, he done so many deals that stopped the war, the killing. So we believe and we wish and we hope that the committee, the Nobel Prize Committee, will award the Nobel Peace Prize to President Trump.
Well, as a friend of President Trump and the family, thank you. Let me ask you this, but since President Trump called for the ceasefire and he made an announcement on his Truth Social account, Thailand, unfortunately, they're not keeping their word. We hear in America that Thailand called on Cambodia to send over 20 troops, or a number of troops, to come to the border, shake hands, and celebrate peace. But that didn't happen. They kidnapped 20 soldiers. They brought them to the other side, to their side, and they arrested them. They're still holding them in captivity. Day by day goes by. I think we're at day 16 or 17 now. The pressure is on, and they're making, in my opinion, a mockery, humiliating all the hard work all the transparency that came into the peace agreement, they're violating it. In fact, we even hear in America from the outcry of the community that we have dead Cambodian soldiers who sacrificed their life, and during a ceasefire agreement, you're allowed to retrieve them to give them a proper burial. They're refusing to hand over the dead bodies that was killed wrongfully from the Cambodian side to give these mothers a chance to bury their children, their sons, with dignity. They're not allowing that. They're not complying with the UN. They're not complying with the Geneva Code. They're absolutely violating everything that President Trump has set forth to have a peaceful resolve. And yet Cambodia remains resilient through it all. And so how are you dealing with that?
Michael, we respect the ceasefire, right? And we request the Thai authority to release the 18 captive or kidnapped soldiers that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's kidnapping.
That's
bottom line.
They need to return them to Cambodia. They must treat it fairly, provide them with all the necessary needs, healthcare, food, what, so on and so forth. But the best is to return them to the Cambodian authority, because they were not captured during the war, like you said. They were captured or kidnapped after the ceasefire.
During peacetime.
During peacetime. For Cambodia, as I mentioned to you, we do not want war. We want peace. We suffer enough of war. The internal conflict, the Khmer Rouge, and so on and so forth. We need peace in order to rebuild our country. We need peace in order to attract investment, to invest, to create jobs for our people here. That's all the Cambodian people want. We want to live in peace with everyone in this world.
And I want to even take it a step further. I do believe that the Thai people want peace as well. But what's happening here, and the way I see it, and Trump, he calls it as it is. We have a general in Thailand, Boon Sen, if I can name him correctly. He is exercising his power as the general who wants to not honor the Paris Peace Accords, but he wants to violate that order. He wants to claim temples that are not his, claim land that's not his. But the motivation behind it, in my opinion, the way I see it, the way I think America's starting to see it, the way Cambodians are starting to see it in America, is that he wants to be king of Thailand. Clearly. The Crown Prince is sitting down saying nothing since the war breakout. And if you're Crown Prince, you need to have control of your country. You are Crown Prince. But no, who do we see in front of the camera? We see a general from Thailand that nobody even knew he even existed until after he invaded Cambodia, until after he caused the war. And now he wants to turn around and say, Cambodia started it? Give me a break. What's happening here is, and what's very, very scary about this situation, is that there's reasons to believe, and we're hearing chatter from the State Department, from the US government, that a coup can be on the rise. A coup can be on the rise. This general wants to be king of Thailand. And who is the innocent lives that are being harmed? Cambodians, for his own gain. But it's not even Cambodians that are being wrongfully killed, wrongfully harmed. It's even his own Thai military. He sends his military on a convoy in a landfill of mines. Now, Everybody knows in America, whether you've been to Cambodia, whether you've been to Thailand, whether you've been to Laos, everybody knows you don't walk around freely in the jungles, because in 1970, President Nixon and Kissinger dropped millions and millions of mines and explorants, and everyone knows it's dangerous. But for his own political gain, the way we see it, is that he puts in his troops in harm's way so he can draw a war. And since the peaceful agreement, we also hear from the people of Cambodia that they are taunting the troops. They are taking marbles, making slingshots, they're firing at the troops on the border, and yet the troops in Cambodia's side has remained resilient, which is a reflection of your leadership, which is the reflection of your prime minister. I just want to congratulate you. And I feel that what your actions for peace, to maintain resilience, is inspiring, even for America in times like this.
Michael, I do not wish to go into the internal politics, internal affair of Thailand, but what I can say that our armies respect and listen to the leader of our government. So when our prime minister said, hold fire, they hold fire. They will not, disobey, or they do not act on their own behalf. They listen to the government of Cambodia. And Cambodia has been, like you said, resilient, has been very patient, because we want peace. That's all we want. We want peace so that we can rebuild our country. We do not want war, but at the same time we have the right to defend ourselves, to defend our sovereignty, our territorial integrity of the country. So we hope, and I believe that peace is also important for Thailand to rebuild their economy too. So let's work together to achieve a long-lasting peace, so that we can rebuild our respective country for the benefit of our respected people.
And I want to add something here to American people at home watching this interview. The Prime Minister, go to discover, graduated from West Point Academy. It's the most prestigious school, trained by the Army, the United States Army. And I take pride in that, because as an American, to see the fundamental principles of discipline, integrity, law and order, respect for dignity of life, is clearly showing in times like this. And so I would like to say to your Prime Minister, as he is alum of the West Point Academy, I find his actions encouraging. I find his actions inspiring. And I find his actions being resilient with love for the dignity of people and humanity. What is frustrating to see from America is you're seeing a general who is educated by China break the ranks of any agreement. All Cambodia keeps on doing is going to the meeting at the table, asking for peace, asking for transparency. Let's end this dispute. We have the Paris Peace Accords. There's no need to go back and fight over this. There's no need for lost life. And President Trump is on a mission. As you know, tomorrow he'll be meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska to talk about peace, to talk about returning the troops home from both sides of the aisle. And he even called it out in Israel and Gaza as well. My question to you is, what can Trump do right now to help Cambodia?
President Trump can request Thailand to respect the ceasefire and enter a true and or sincere, honest dialogue with Cambodia to achieve a peaceful resolution of the conflict along the border. If we look at the history, we have the treaty in 1907. We have an MOU signed between Thailand and Cambodia. So let's use that. Let's use all different mechanisms to resolve the conflict at the border. Let's return to the normalcy before the clashes broke out. That's what we want. And I'd like to take this opportunity to tell President Trump that Cambodia would be so honored if he would visit Cambodia. That would be our honor to welcome here to Cambodia.
I'd love to see
Let
that.
Let him see for himself. Cambodia, a small country with a big heart. I don't know if you remember during the Western Dam, the ship Holland America, during the COVID, no port in Asia allowed that Western Dam cruise ship to dock, but our former Prime Minister, Samdech Hun Sen, allowed the Western Dam to dock at our Singapore port. All everyone's refused because they're afraid of COVID. But we, a small country with open heart, with a big heart, please come to Cambodia, and we help you to get back to where you're supposed to go. That show that how peaceful we are, okay? How loving people we are, how I'm trying to find the right word, Michael, for this
Passionate?
one. Yeah, passionate. Yeah, we're passionate to help other people. That's the way we are.
You know, I'm glad you brought this up because I know a famous journalist who's in Cambodia. His name is Soy Sapit. He came out in this post the other day and it went viral, 2 million views in 24 hours. He talked about the idea of possibly naming Highway 4 that starts from the port all the way to the trade center. 140 miles. I have to say miles, I can't use kilometers. Because Americans got to understand how long this highway is. It's 140 miles. And we built it in the 50s, I believe, in the 60s. We built this highway. And there's talk from your most respected journalists, you know, in Cambodia, and the community is raving about the idea of naming Highway 4 to President Trump Highway. This will be the first time in American history that a sitting president would have a freeway or a highway named after him. And I even had to look up ChatGPT with AI, and I said, was there ever a sitting president that had a freeway or a road named after them? It said, doesn't exist. The only one was JFK. JFK when he passed away, and it was a small road in Indonesia and in Philippines. But nothing has ever been seen or heard or talked about this. So I just want to say, I have to ask, does the chatter have some weight to it? Is that something that could be a possibility that we could see in the near future?
But so it's a pimp. He's the one who advanced ideas. I think I get a lot of support within the country. So he will going to push for that, and hopefully that will be realized soon. I hope. So,
of course.
But the movement in the country, we see a lot of support really in the social media. But I had to go through formalities, through get the approval from the prime ministers and so on and so forth. Yeah.
But it just shows we never seen such a strong signal to President Trump, and not just that, but for America's presence. And I asked myself why, but it's clear as day. Cambodia wants peace.
Yes.
And by any cost, by any travel, by any means, we're going to exercise every avenue possible. And I believe that is the country that I know, and I only visited one time 7 years ago, as we talked earlier. But that's the country that I know about Cambodia. It's just everybody's eating from the same rice bowl. Everybody is going to their temples, singing songs, dancing. Actually, I have to learn how to dance correctly, with your hands correctly. And men are supposed to go up twice, down twice, up twice, and then you'll be an expert. And just the simple serenity of just chanting, saying Akon, saying Jirap Sua, Jirap Lia, and just being about humanity.
Yes.
My final question for you is, how do you want America to view Cambodia, and how do you want America to see you as a deputy minister of Cambodia? How do they want to view your leadership?
Well, I want the American to see Cambodia as the peace-loving country. I want the American to see Cambodia is the place to visit, not to see Cambodia as the aggressor against anybody. Want to see Cambodian culture. Cambodia is very rich in culture. We want American to see Cambodia as a place to invest, so that job can be created in Cambodia, but also to serve the American consumer. Produce from here and then can be exported to the US, the good quality with a reasonable price to help the American consumer. So, and I like the American citizen to come to visit us, see for yourself that this country, small, open economy, small, with a big heart, to welcome everyone to the land, what we call the kingdom of wonder.
Let me say this. So many Cambodians, Americans, are still impacted by the war. Genocide 1, Genocide 2, even the killings from the ghost fields, the ghost mountains. They endured so much trauma.
Yep.
And when I meet with the Cambodian Americans in Philadelphia, I meet them in North Carolina, I meet them in Long Beach, California, a lot of them, when you enter their home, they have Angkor Wat, they have the culture, they have the food. And I asked them, when are you going back to home to Cambodia to visit? But since they left as a refugee, they're so afraid still today. And someone like you, who had to leave as a refugee at one point, to get an education at Harvard, to come back, to be in a leadership role where you are now, what is your message to those Cambodian elderly that are still afraid to come back to Cambodia? What is your message to them?
Don't be afraid to come back to Cambodia. Cambodia is very peaceful, it's very safe to visit. And for the younger generation of Cambodian, if you get opportunity to return to Cambodia, to give a hand to Cambodia, please return to give a hand to rebuild our country. I left General Electric after 16 years to return to participate in the rebuilding of Cambodia. So the satisfaction that I received from being able to help to contribute in the rebuilding Cambodia, it just, I don't think I can write in a word the satisfaction that I received from seeing the progress of the country. You said you visited Cambodia 7 years ago. If you look today, it totally changed the progress of the country. The standard of living is better than 7 years ago, than 20 years ago. That is the satisfaction that I received by being with the government of Cambodia, by being part of the reconstruction, rebuilding of Cambodia. That is just, for me, I don't find the word for it. But if people ask me, Michael said, what is the satisfaction, what is the difference between working for private sector and the public sector? Here's what I tell them. When you work for the private company, you work to increase shareholder value of that company. The shareholders that you never met, you don't know who they are, but you have to work to increase the shareholder value. But work for public sector, for me, men, women, children on the street that I see every day, they are my shareholder. So when I see them, I said to myself, it's my responsibility, my obligation to work hard to improve the standard of living. That is the satisfaction that I don't think I can receive working for the private company.
Well, Prime Minister, that's remarkable. And I truly hope, even just my presence here in a time of crisis, to show a testament that it is safe. Cambodia is safe. Cambodia wants peace. And if you don't return back home, you will never have that satisfaction that the Deputy Prime Minister speaks of today, of taking pride in ownership of contribution. And maybe you can't come back to build a business, but you can come back and get in touch with your heritage, your roots, and go see this beautiful temple, Angkor Wat. It's one of the wonders of the world. Only 7 wonders of the world. It's one of the most beautiful places. Like, if you want to feel or touch God, come to Angkor Wat, and I'll tell you, you'll be so delighted that you did, and you'll ask yourself when you leave Cambodia, why did I not come sooner? So I hope, by getting out this message today, one goal I would like to walk away is, if I can inspire just a handful of Cambodian Americans to come to Cambodia, to tour, to eat the good food, to worship God in His temple, please do so and make this trip worth it for me.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much for coming to Cambodia. Appreciate it. And please be our good will ambassador to inform the world the true Cambodia.
Kapchai Lalai. Thank you.
You just heard it directly from Cambodia's Deputy Prime Minister. Cambodia wants peace, not war. But once again, the Thai military has broken its word. Just this morning, while Cambodia continues to honor the ceasefire, Thai soldiers attacked civilians, proving the DPM's warnings tragically correct. This is why Thailand has tried to smear Michael and myself. This is why they blacklisted us, because the truth that we exposed then and now, it shines too bright to be ignored. And it's only why the Cambodian people, their students, monks, and leaders continue to rally behind President Donald J. Trump. His ultimatum forced peace talks, and his leadership has already been honored with a Nobel Peace Prize nomination from 70,000 Cambodian monks. But the work of peace is not done. 18 Cambodian soldiers remain in Thai captivity. Families remain displaced. And this morning's violence shows that Thailand is still violating Trump's ceasefire order. We're going to continue releasing more never-before-seen footage from Cambodia so the world understands the truth. Stay tuned.